Sir, should we start, sir?
Yeah, why not? We can go.
Okay, so good morning to all the participants and good morning to our resource person today. So, dear participants, today we are fortunate to have a very senior faculty member for the first session today. He is Professor K. Rama Mohana Rao, sir. Earlier, he was a faculty member in Department of Faculty of Commerce and Management Studies, Andhra University. At present, he is serving as Vice Chairman, Andhra Pradesh State Council of Higher Education. His teaching experience is very long, nearly 40 years of experience he is having. So far, he has produced 24 PhDs and 9 MPhils. He has authored 10 books. He has authored more than nearly 90 research papers and he has completed 13 research projects. He has served, he is member of many academic and administrative bodies of different universities. He has served as principal AU College of Arts and Commerce. He has served as registrar of Andhra University. He was convener of Andhra Pradesh Integrated Common Entrance Test. ET Now, Economic Times Now has awarded him National Education Leadership Award as Best Professor in Marketing in 2013. And Andhra Pradesh government has also presented him the State Best Teacher Award. And today he is with us and he is going to talk on improving productivity through time management. Sometimes I feel we teachers have some problem in time management. We think more. Sometimes we are delayed in starting our class. Sometimes we extend our class. Sometimes we force our works towards end of the time. Some marks have to be submitted and we try to submit it at the last moment. We do it in time, but that is not time management. How we should do it effectively so that we do the work on time, plus we save some time for further work. So Professor Rao sir is going to highlight all those things on time management, how to be more productive through time management. So a very interesting and very effective topic for all of us. And I also feel, sir, sometime in my works, I try to finish everything at the deadline. This is the deadline. Just before that, I will finish all the works I do in that time, but at that time only. And I realized later on, I realized that I take too much of stress towards the end of the deadline. So that I fail in time management somehow. So today I will also learn with you how to manage all those things. So the time is yours now. You may take up.
So thank you, Professor Bharatendra Singh. Good morning, all of you. It is pleasure to be with you in this morning to interact with all of you. I am told that you have joined the Mizoram University fresh in the as teaching faculty.
Sir, these are not in Mizoram University. They are from different parts of India.
Okay, different parts
And
of it.
yeah, and coincidentally, sir, no one from Mizoram University in this course.
Okay.
Some,
Nice.
some nearly
Okay.
14, 15 are from Assam, some are from Kalyani University, West Bengal, some are from UP, BHU, and some from southern part also, sir.
Excellent. Okay. So first thing, I congratulate you for choosing teaching as a profession, as a career, which is a noble profession, but of late it is getting more and more challenging because of the dynamic changes that are happening in the environment, particularly in the technological environment. So we need to continuously learn, upgrade ourselves. Then only we can prove as the teachers who can inspire the students. So it is a continuous process of learning, and updating ourselves. So since all of you are the beginners and attending to a program, a orientation program organized by Mizoram University, before going to the main theme, I would like to tell you one thing, that when you attend programs like this, you should set some learning goals. What you carry out of this orientation program or induction program, you must be very clear about it. Say, several people will address you, take sessions, and give you some knowledge inputs. But those knowledge inputs you can have from many sources. You need not only look at here. But after you have completed your studies, you might have had some research experience. But when you are facing the class, when you are addressing the students, you may not be having the right perspective. So you try to recollect your teachers, how they have performed, how they have made a presentation and all that. So from a receiving end, you are transforming to a giving end. So that change you have to manage very well. So you are being exposed to a variety of teachers and very experienced teachers and with variety of topics. So you have to classify them as excellent, very good, good, average, poor, very poor. You have to give a judgment after every session is completed. And you have to observe how a topic is structured for presentation, how the beginning is done, how it is flown towards the end, and how it is concluded. Those issues you have to examine the methodology of making a presentation. Interestingly, this is another important aspect that you have to understand. So while a lecture is getting delivered, sometime you will get thoroughly connected with. And some cases you may not get able to get connected. You realize your presence, you realize the time is moving on hardly. You don't find some interest in the lecture. So you have to record those things when you are getting connected. Why I am getting connected? What is the approach the presenter has made in that? Why I could able to get connected? Tomorrow your student also gets connected if the similar issue is followed by you. Why I am not able to connect with the presenter? Also, you have to judge yourself. This is a very important aspect. And how drama is used, how emotion is used by the presenter, and whether I am also equally getting emotionally connected with the presenter or not. This also you have to judge. Then the style of communication, the non-verbal moves, movements, the actions of the presenter, the logical flow of the content right from the beginning to the end, and ultimately whether the clear narratives are given in the presentation or not. And most importantly, as rightly mentioned by Artendu, the time management. Time management is not just beginning and ending of the lecture. Beginning to the time and closing to the time is important. But managing a timely flow of various issues in the lecture process. So that is also important. Say you cannot spend more time on introduction and less time on the real body of the lecture, or sometimes people won't find time to conclude properly, but time runs and you will finish it abruptly and move out. When you are planning for question hour session, then you have to work out your time schedule. How much time I leave it for question hour session, and how I can manage the entire content within the time after leaving the question hour session. And you have kept question hour session, for example, for 15 minutes, and there were no questions. Then what to do? This is a strategy of managing time. So if one question comes, then what to do? So you should have plan A, plan B for managing this unexpected, uncontrollable time slot that you have. The time that you have prepared for presentation of the lecture, it's good. That is 100% in your control. But the time you give to the interaction is not in your control. It is somebody decides, the other persons decide. So that you have to make it. So will you allow or confine only to the questions raised by the others? Or do you have also some supplementary questions you can pose and get the answers from them? So that management. And finally, the interaction session should yield some outcome, some value, some extension to what you have said. That greater penetration into the subject is possible when you have managed it. So you observe everybody. You can learn from the excellent presentation. You can learn from a good presentation. You can learn from an average presentation. You can learn from a poor presentation, and you have learnings from very poor presentations. So how I should be, how I should not be, this is the opportunity, the great opportunity you can have to mold yourself as a teacher who commands respect from students, who command respect from the peers and colleagues. So this is the thing that I wanted to share before I go into the actual presentation. So now we go for how we can improve productivity through time management. As you all know, productivity is the efficient use of resources in production of delivery, in production and delivery of goods and services. Ours is a service. Higher productivity means accomplishing more with the same amount of resources or achieving higher output in terms of volume and quality from the same input. So these are the managerial definitions. We can apply this to our service sector, particularly the education services. So the limiting resource for us, the scarce resource for us is the time you interact with the student. If that time is used effectively to generate higher value, your productivity will be high. That is the essence of this. Time management is managing our time effectively to ensure the right amount of time is allocated to the right activity. It is maximizing the value of time by including productive activities and eliminating activities which are waste of time or produce negative results. Utilizing the available time in the best possible way to achieve one's personal as well as professional goals. I think all these statements are understandable to all of you. I don't want to spend more time on this. Time is a unique resource. Once used or misused, it is gone forever. This is the statement we have to record in our minds all the time. Then only we can utilize the time effectively. Time management is nothing but self-management. It is not a way to make you work harder or longer, but a means to help you work smarter, to accomplish your work more easily and rapidly. So by understanding all these conceptual meanings, we can now understand the benefits of time management. It makes us to become more productive. It makes us to do lesser mistakes. It reduces our stress, as rightly pointed out by the Professor Singh, that if we do not plan and allocate time properly, last minute stress always makes us to compromise on certain things and do certain mistakes also. More time to do a job, this is a typical line. You have only the defined time, but you feel like you have more time to do a good job when you know how to manage time. And the people who manage time well is likely to be more successful compared to anybody else. So all these benefits we want, we look for, we aspire for, but the time is with us and you are the boss of your time. So how to manage this, how to optimize the value of the time is the issue for our discussion today. One thing I wanted to make you very clear. You cannot manage time because time is an uncontrollable variable. Only thing is you can manage yourself to the time. You can manage yourself to the time. You cannot extend the time or reduce the time. Time is available, what that is with you. You have to manage yourself to the time. That management, we call it as time management. Common time bastards. Let us examine what we do when we have time with us. Reacting instead of reacting. Many a time we spend more time on reacting to the issues rather than solving the problems of the issue. So this reaction time is generally considered as a waste time. Understand the issue and try to solve the issue. That is called acting. Not thinking far enough ahead. Future plan. Forward thinking. Visualization of the changes. Estimations and expectations. If they are absent, then management of time is very difficult and you waste a lot of time in finding out the right way of resolving a problem. Inadequate preparation. Say some issues you have time-bound issues. Say you have 1 hour time in classroom. If you do not prepare well, you cannot manage that 1 hour to generate higher productivity. Because there will be several gaps in you and those gaps cannot be resolved without wasting time. So sometimes you add many examples which are not necessary. I think somewhere request the participants to.
Sir, it is not participant. I think one of the speaker next panel. I will just inform him too.
Yeah, please.
Oh.
Yeah, inadequate preparation is one waster of time. Procrastination is nothing but postponement of things. We generally tend to do that. Excessive attention to unimportant details. This is also a habit to many people. So what is important, what is unimportant, we have to classify them. Reluctance to ask for help. Self-dependency is not always recommended, not always good. When you have some inadequacies, you have to. Yeah, we have to necessarily take some help from others. Failure to understand what needs to be done. Clarity of thought. Analysis. Diagnosis. If we do not know the right skills to understand an issue, we waste our time. Uncertainty about expectations. how a particular thing need to be performed. If we are not aware of the kind of expectations the other people are having, then you waste many things. See, in a classroom, you should understand what are the expectations of the students. So students are not on the same platform. You have variety of students with diverse needs. Some are very fast learners, some are slow learners, some are mediocre learners. So if you take all of them on a general platform and start delivering lecture, you can only satisfy one segment, not the other segments. So you have to definitely understand what are the expectations of the students, what are the needs and desires of the students, and accordingly, if you have to work out the way in which you can reach every student effectively. This is what we have to understand. Uncertainty about expectations. Over commitment. You say that I will do all the work, but you won't do that. You cannot do that because it is beyond your capacity. So you have to understand what is your capacity to handle the things. Accordingly, you have to take the work. If you take more work than what you can handle, then you will put your foot on too many boards. Finally, you cannot reach your target. So overcommitment is another issue. Indecisiveness. If you don't have decision making skills, you are likely to waste your time significantly. So you should practice how to take decisions, appropriate decisions, quality decisions at the right time. Poor organization of things. You don't know how to put things in a right place, how to move things from one level to another level. So that organizational system, if you do not understand and absorb, then again you will waste your time and rushing. So this is one very commonly found issue. We will rush at the last minute, then automatically there will be some slippages. You have to turn back and work again, and finally you have to compromise on the result. The great management philosopher, Peter Drucker, said, make sure you know where your time goes. So we should consciously understand how we are making use of our time. That is the Peter Drucker. He said like this: don't depend on memory, keep a time log. This is another very important advice, that we have to keep a paper or the notebook or a mobile to find out the next immediate activity that we have to do. If you depend on memory, sometimes you forget about it. Sometimes you remember after the time is past. So some kind of those things happen unless otherwise you train your memory very well. So if you train your memory, your biological system, biological time, that's okay. But it is not say everybody's say uh, cake that they can say biologically maintain the timings. So better always to keep a time lag. See that your time is spent as per your priorities or your core responsibilities. Say every day we will be having so many works. Our time may not be sufficient to address all those works. So you have to necessarily prioritize, and you identify what are your core responsibilities, allocate time accordingly. Time allocation is a very, very important dimension. The factors influencing time management at your work, your attitude towards the work. What attitude I have towards my work? If my attitude is positive, then I can see my time moving happily, creating some value, everything. If you don't have positive attitude and you are pushed to the job, then say flow of the time is very, very difficult. And most of the time you do not create value or productive. So that is important. So you should have positive attitude towards the work that you are doing. See, you have entered into a teaching profession. I don't know whether it is a choice or a compulsion. For many of us, it is a compulsion rather than a choice. But once you take up the task, you should start believing in it, loving it, and then only you can be a full-fledged teacher, otherwise not. So belief system is another important influencing factor. So if I deliver a lecture for 1 hour, I should believe that it is going to add value to the audience. If I don't believe that, it is like say they are asking me to deliver 1 hour lecture or 1.5 hour lecture, I am doing it. Just like that, if I take up the task, then my involvement will be less and I may not be able to impress the audience. The perceptions on the situations, self-confidence levels, skills and competencies, ability to organize self, the kind of work environment created, the kind of social system in which the people are delivering their service, the kind of influence the others make on you, the workload, and the support system that is developed. All these are influencers in managing your time at your workplace. Workplace is your institution. So if you want to really sit and look for time management, you have to begin with identifying the distractions. When, where I am getting distracted from the focus area. So you have to set yourself and find reasons for the distraction. Are they internal distractions or external distractions? I am stressed. I have certain issues inside accumulated. And that is why I am unable to concentrate on the work. The people around us creating noises, disturbances, or commenting, or some kind of gestures which are not comfortable for me. Is it distracting me from my focus? So we have to diagnose the distraction. We have to identify the reasons for the distraction, whether they are internal or external, and which activities are making you feel happy and which of them are making you feel pain, unhappy. The pleasure and pain analysis is a very important analysis. So when you are taking pleasure from an activity, your time management will be effective. When you are taking pain from an activity, your time management will be ineffective. You cannot become a productive personality. So what are the reasons that are making me to feel pleasure and what are the reasons to making me to feel pain? Pleasure, of course, you can retain or extend, but pain you should get out of it by suggesting yourself to your mind with certain say inputs. Then you will keep this pain either eliminated or minimized so that you can use that time effectively. Identify internal and external forces influencing traction and distraction. So what are the forces that making you to be more concentrated? Traction is that, and more distracting you. So you have to work out strategies to promote traction. You have to prioritize, as I told you, prioritize the activities. First things first, make right choice, learn how to make quality decisions, develop leadership thinking. So when you have this, you will be knowing prioritization. So planning is the key managerial function, but research shows that less than 5% of management time goes on planning. This is one finding from the experts of management. We all say that planning is very important for every management activity, but fact is that only less than 5% is used for that. Pareto principle is one thing. 20% of your time will produce 80% of your productive output. So can you afford not to manage at least that 20%? This is another finding. 80-20 principle is a Pareto principle. It applies to time management also. The Parkinson's law says that work expands to fill the time available for it. Beware. See, when you go on doing the work, the time also passes like that. So you should learn where to begin, where to stop, when to begin, when to stop. So if you do not have a clarity of when to close, the time only pass like that. That you have to check. They are the three cautions that I am giving you. So this is the matrix that can help you in prioritizing and classifying your tasks. Urgent and important matrix. So you have to list out the activities that you have to do. And for prioritization, this matrix will help you. What if a particular task is urgent and also important? It must be ranked number 1. It is important but not urgent. It should be ranked number 2. It is not important but urgent. It should be ranked 3. It is not urgent and not important. It should be ranked 4. So this is one matrix that can help us in prioritization of things. So you have to set goals for yourself, which are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based. This is called SMART analysis of goals. So you have to set your goals for achievement of certain things while planning your time, and you must be very specific about it, and the goal must be measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based. So you must be able to have job clarification, priority setting, planning and organizing, and you should also know delegation of work to the others. And the most important thing that any time manager has to take is the procrastination. It is a thief of a time as far as Edward Young is concerned. We generally have a habit of postponing things. Later, not now, are the examples of procrastination. Do it now, or it may even become obsolete, is against this. So you have to take a decision. You should not defer a discussion or decision. Delay won't make them easier. If you delay something, it will not become easier. So we should be cautious of the procrastination, and you should not fall into trap of it. Doing things at the last minute is much more expensive than just before the last minute. Deadlines are really important. establish time for yourself. If you think you can do it, begin it. Inability to say no is one problem maybe all of us are facing. But if you want to have your own time managed well, don't say yes when you want to say no. We should learn to say no when it is appropriate. So many of us feel that if we say no to others, we are hurting them, hurting their feelings. So it is your time, you have to manage, and your communication style should be such that you can communicate no without hurting others. And you have to judge while saying no whether it is appropriate or not appropriate. This is another issue. Maybe many senior people will go for it, having monkey on the shoulder. That means we pick up the jobs of the others. We do our job and also we accept on behalf of others to do something. This is a one kind of weakness. When people sense that you are vulnerable, they go on assigning their works to you and make you highly, say, overburdened, and in the process, you cannot justify your work and you cannot justify the work of others also. This is what we call as monkey on the shoulder, and we should check and avoid it. So, by understanding the way in which a time has to be perceived, the way in which the time has to be calculated in the sense you cannot calculate 24 hours in a day as your time, because biologically you need 6 to 8 hours rest. So that time is not yours, it is your body's. So leaving that 8 hours, for example, you have 16 hours with you, and in 16 hours you have to plan your activities, different activities, and then you have to develop your teacher personality, which is admirable to the others, which, as I told you, commands respect from others. So towards that end, what is required is we have to develop a teacher personality. The teacher personality comes with these characteristics. One is we must know how to become a trainer. We have a conventional understanding that the teacher disseminates knowledge to the students. It is the job is dissemination. Mean you are in a communication terms, you are transferring the knowledge from one flow to another stream, one stream to another stream, in the way that they understand, that they are required to understand. So actually, if you relook into the approach that the people follow in teaching, mostly the teacher try to train a student how to learn, because after completing the institutional learning process, the student will go to the real world where they have to learn things. If they do not know how to learn new things, they get stagnated at a particular point and they become totally irrelevant to the environment. You may be knowing that a teacher of mathematics, a teacher of statistics, a teacher of science, unless otherwise, the teacher of accounting, unless otherwise, the method is given to the student cannot understand how to solve the problem. The student who understands the method properly can solve the formula, say solution of a problem very easily. Those who are confused in that, they cannot come to a right conclusion or right solution. So this training is a very important aspect. Say if we know right method of training, you can save a lot of time in say disseminating knowledge effectively. So training skills the teacher has to acquire, it helps you to manage your time effectively. So our job is to find out the new ways of training the students. We have to develop or understand the advanced methods of teaching so that within a short period of time, you can create more value to the student. So therein we have now the experiential learning is taking at the prime place. How we can create experiences to the students and how we can make a student learn from each of the experiences, creating situations to gain experiences and making the student conditioned to perceive right learnings from the experience. These two are the challenges of a teacher, and how we can make the student comfortable in that, easily get into it without losing time, and in a short span of time, how they can accumulate more knowledge and make that knowledge applicable in their uh, choice of discipline. This is an important aspect. So we should learn new methods of teaching to manage our classroom time highly productive. Another method is the storytelling method. This also leads to very clear planting of the narration that you wanted to say, wanted the student to capture. Story is considered to be an important emotionally driving say method to connect the student and to transfer the issues directly and indirectly to the mind of the student, to the heart of the student, so that they'll be knowing how to get sensitized, how to get reacted, how to get responsive, and how to become action oriented, how to understand things well. That kind of narrativeness is also possible. And another method which is now very popularly used across the world is gaming. Gamification is another approach people are using to train the students effectively towards the set goal and objective, the way in which the content which they wanted to learn, in a systematic way, in a logical way, and connecting and making them participative, involved, and also perceive the success at various levels, failures at various levels, team and say work, discussions with others, all those things we can do with the gamification. So that is another way. So we have to pick up appropriate teaching method to give right kind of training to the student to capture the things. And my point here is, if you are a good trainer, you are a good time manager. So the available limited precious scarce time resource can be used for generating higher productivity if you are a good trainer. The communicator, teacher needs to be a good communicator. And the communication is nothing but connecting with the audience. You have to take the students along with you in the travel of moving from one point to the another point in the discipline teaching that you are making it. You are not just moving from one point to another point. You are taking the students along with you to the next point and the next point and the next point until the end. That is the power of communication. So you should learn how to communicate well without understanding the expectations of the audience, without understanding their ability to learn, without understanding their interests, their objectives, their perception of benefits, you cannot be a good communicator. So on your own, if you know good English, if you have a practice of say oration at various levels, you cannot be very good at classroom. You have to understand classroom dynamics are different and external dynamics are different. That you have to understand. The communicator molds himself or herself to the situation, to the group of audience, taking the entire environment into the consideration. To plan, execute plan A if possible perfectly, or have a plan B also all the time to defend yourself in a situation where you are not comfortable. A teacher should have a passion towards teaching. This passion makes you to update yourself, to become more philosophically perfect, conceptually right. So when you are very clear in your concept, you can define that in the simplest possible way to the student. When you are not clear about it, you try to pick up many things in your support, but finally you are wasting your time and wasting the time of others. So passion makes you to learn more, understand more, and comprehend the way in which that is required, and simplify and redefine in your own words and terms, and everything you can make that comes from your heart, not from your tongue. That kind of connectivity you can establish with your audience when you are passionate about teaching and learning. Empathetic. You should get into the shoes of your students. Think from their angle. A particular concept may be easier to you, but may not be easier to the student. And when you look from the student point of view, you can expand it by raising some questions and driving to in a wider platform so that you can reach every student clearly. So delivering many points without clarity is wasting your time. It is not useful. Delivering a few points with 100% clarity to the students, you are making your time more effective. And the way in which students look at you, perceive you, connect with you depends upon your character. So that is why a teacher should become a model character to the students. Many students try to imitate the teachers. Even if you analyze now, in the first few years of your teaching career, if you see video of yourself, there will be some kind of imitations of the teachers whom you respect, whom you adore, whom you have some emotional connectivity. Their personality, their style of teaching automatically enters into you, consciously, not unconsciously or subconsciously. So that is the influence of a teacher. Try to become a model character which students will recognize and understand you. You should be presentable, and you should always focus on promoting creative thinking. A teacher should drive the students for advancement in thought process. Unless the teacher has the advancement in the thought process, how can you make the students drive to the new ideas and new thought processes? So you should not confine yourself only to the textbook learning or the journal learning. You should expand the thought further creatively and transfer it to the students and make them also creatively think about it. Punctuality, start to the time and end to the time, and see that the time managed throughout the session effectively. You should become a good counselor. And your thought process, progressive thinker always try to see the status quo position is not the best position. There is every possibility for further improvement in every activity. So let us do something new so that that value can be added within the given time. Sensible to the situations, not only sensible, the teacher should become also responsible to the situations. So these are the characteristics I expect that every teacher should have, should develop, should promote, and progressively improve on every single issue. We have to continuously upgrade our skills, our teaching skills, digital skills, social skills, administrative skills. Every teacher is expected to participate in the administrative process also. Leadership skills, networking skills, transaction skills, and research skills. So a teacher should become a good researcher also. You have so many advantages of becoming a researcher. You know how to analyze things, how to summarize the learnings from the research. That is what we call as review of literature. How to diagnose a problem, how to approach towards a problem, how to separate the relevant facts with irrelevant facts, how to write, how to make good presentations. So your writing skills, your presentation skills also improves with the research. And you can also develop a micro level analytical thinking that sharpens your mind and straight away drive you to the point which is required. So eliminating all unnecessary things. This is one very important skill that you will have to manage your time very effectively. So if you want to be very good in time management, you should have research skills. As I told you, we have given time. You don't have a liberty to decide your time. You have a given time, 24 hours minus 6 or 8. During that time, you have to allocate the time judiciously to address at least the 5 important needs: personal needs, Personal needs includes your health, your knowledge enrichment, your entertainment, your works, not the occupation works. For that, you need your personal time. You are a family man. Family will have many expectations. Family needs you on many things. So you have to allocate time to your family. Occupation time, of course, the employer will decide how much time you should be there. And if you know how to manage your time, you will not take occupational work to home or home to occupation. This is a very important practice that you have to make it to have stress-free life and do things well within the time. Relationship needs. You have to build relations with many people, your friends, relatives, and all that. For them, you have to allocate some time, if not every day. Wherein, say, for example, nowadays people are using more time on social networking, but you have to minimize your time. You cannot say waste your time with that social networking usage. So you have to address the social needs. You have to address relationship needs. You have to address occupational needs. You have to address family needs. You have to address personal needs. And judicious allocation of time to all of them. And whenever a time is allocated, you should try to see that time is productively used. You should be able to get emotionally connected to every need when you are satisfying, and you should also make others part of the process so that you can have a better work-life balance. Yeah, I wanted to introduce one book to you. Maybe some of you might have gone through already, but if you have not gone through, try to have this book, The 1 Minute Manager by Kenneth Blanchard and Spencer Johnson. This book helps you in time management very effectively. So it is a very small book. Maybe you will get for less than 100 rupees or 150 rupees, not more than that. Very small book. If you want to quickly read the book, it may take 1 hour to 1.5 hour time. But if you really go through well, every page of the book will give you some good learnings. So these two people, they have identified the best performing organizations and try to know how they are managing time. So they started calling those people, and everybody said that many people said that I don't have time. But there is one person, one manager who said that you are welcome. So these people tried to interact with him physically, and they found that this man is very cool, comfortable, without having any tension or visitors. Nothing is there. But he is managing a top-end organization. So then they found, they asked, so how you are managing all these things and becoming so peaceful and so leisurely, you are sitting without any hurry and this thing. Then he says that, say, when you know how to make the people understand what they have to do, then your job is zero. People will do on their own. So this book says that you need to be nice and you need to be tough also on certain aspects. So how to make a balance between toughness and niceness is an issue that you have to handle with the people. Results and people are equally important. Effective managers manage themselves and the people they work with. People who feel good about themselves produce good results. This is an important aspect which all of us should understand. We should feel good for ourselves. Then only we can produce good results. People say, when I am successful, I am happy. But research proved that when people are happy, they are successful. This also the narrative which we should all get into. When we are happy, we will be successful. Not when we are successful, we are happy. There are only two outcomes in work: successful, not so successful. No one is a failure. So everyone puts some effort. Some people reach or cross the bar, which we call as success. Some people may not able to cross the bar at the first attempt or the second attempt or the third attempt. But if they find the right way, automatically they cross the bar. So that in 40% is a pass, 39% is not a failure. It is less successful than the successful candidate. Helping people to feel good about themselves is the key to get those people work more. So this is another principle that 1 minute manager tells us. They gave you 3 secrets. One is 1 minute goal setting. In management, say goal formulation is very critical, and we very much emphasize number of times that one has to set the goals. But now this gentleman says that you should and you can set your goal in 1 minute. So what the goal is, what need to be done, what is the standard of good performance, you have to understand it. Not all should be recorded, only do 1 minute goal setting on that 20% of your goals. The parity principle, 20/80, you select 20% of your works and set your goals for that in a simple terms and comprehensively. That means write each of your goal on a single sheet of paper using less than 250 words so that you can understand, you can make everybody understand. The practice that these two suggest is read and reread each goal. Writing 250 words is not 1 minute, but reading and rereading the goal every time requires only 1 minute. Take a minute every once in a while out of your day to look at your performance. This goal, what I have done. See whether or not your behavior matches your goals. So we have to mold our behavior towards achievement of those goals. So the first secret of the book is that we have to set the goals 20% of our total prioritized activities, prioritizing 20%. Write each goal for 250 words and spend 1 minute to read one goal every day and every time. And you have to mold yourself, your behavior towards achievement of that goals. This is the first secret. There should not be any surprise. Everyone knows what is expected from the beginning. When goals are clearly defined, that is the benefit that you are getting. Employee is responsible for solving his own problems and achieving the goals that are set. When faced with a difficult situation, managers should encourage employees to think, analyze, and act on the problem. The manager is not opting a solution. He is making the employees to find a solution. So in this process, both employee and manager both are benefiting. Manager has more time to focus on his work. Employees learn how to think around problems and solve them. Positive impact on productivity, efficiency, and self-development of the person. So this is a simple logic that these people say is practicable. The second secret is 1 minute pricing. Catch people do something right. Help people reach their full potential. Prize must be given. When you catch people doing right and perform well, that will make them feel pretty good. Prize at the very first opportunity. Be sincere and show that you care and want him or her to prosper. Look straight in the eye and tell precisely what he or she did right. Then share how good you feel about what he or she did. You don't have to try to catch people doing something right all the time. Just when the new people first work here and when they begin a new project or responsibility. So we have to appreciate those who are doing right better whenever they do it. Say in the classroom, we should know how to appreciate students when they are performing. A word of appreciation will give a lot of strength to them to do much, much better in the next time. So this is what the second secret for 1 minute management. If you identify people, recognize them when they are doing right and praising them, appreciating them. So majority start doing right things only. When many people do right things, your job becomes very, very easier. You can focus on certain areas which are very important for you. The third secret is 1 minute reprimand. When something goes wrong, when somebody could not able to do right things, when someone committed a mistake, then don't attack, don't bombard, so don't warn seriously or don't take a severe action against them. You have to reprimand. You should make them learn how the mistake has happened, and with that mistake, how you got some bad feeling about it. You should tell them precisely what went wrong and how they have to correct themselves in the next process. So that is what you call as reprimand. We have to take 1 minute time for setting the goal and reading the goal, 1 minute time to praise the people, 1 minute time to reprimand the people. And when you do these three secrets of success in managing people, that is what the 1 minute managers book says to us. And it is like a novel, a story that it is written. But if you go through them, the book, you will definitely find some inputs through which you can manage yourself as a good teacher, facing the students, connecting with the students, and making them very comfortable with you in the journey of learning process. So to conclude everything, time is available to all of us and valuable for everyone. Everyone spends the available time in his or her own way. Great people do great things in the available time only. We can't add or reduce time specified for our life. Time can be utilized qualitatively. We have to allocate time sufficiently for self, relationships, and work life. Learn the methods, acquire skills, and update knowledge for enhancing time productivity. Develop the right attitudes, perceptions, and beliefs. Manage stress. Learn how to fight distractions. Set the right goals and execute them within the time frame. Develop self-confidence. Don't say yes when you want to say no. be happy, and make others happy. This is what I want to share with you. Now, this is open for discussion.
Thank you, sir, for your presentation. Now, participants, so far I have not received any question from you. Just give your question in chat box so that sir may respond to that.
Or if they don't have questions, they can share their perceptions of the session. You can invite a few of them.
So friends, give your response or your question. So far, nothing came. So the book you recommended, that 1 minute time management, who is the author? I forgot to note.
The 1 minute manager.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'll give you.
Okay, okay.
Blanchard. Kenneth Blanchard and Spencer Johnson.
Okay, okay, sir.
Kenneth Blanchard and Spencer Johnson, the 1 minute manager.
1 minute management.
Yeah.
One question, yes, sir.
Yeah.
From Dr. Sadiq Ahmad. What? Yes, sir. You are able to see that.
What can we do when authorities give extra work and overload the work? When we are overloaded the work? Yeah. See, we are in a system where we have to oblige the directions of the authority, right? See, the overwork is again a perception that we have. It is a prioritization, I told you. If you prioritize the work assigned by your authority to do first, then that is the work that you do. You have number of works, your family works, your friends works, your authority works, and all that. The question comes, what prioritization that you make it, how much time you allocate for it. Are you able to find out the right ways through which you can economize your time in doing those works? That is the issue. And again, the narrative is that you must be capable of communicating no to the authority when you really appreciate it. The way in which you communicate is very important. It is not bluntly saying, no, I don't want to do this work. So you have to develop a communication narrative to influence the other that yes, this man is overloaded and we have to give only this much work to this person. So this is how you manage your communication, how you prioritize your work, and how you find out right ways to clear the work in the minimum time possible. Here are the three options.
So another question is there from Michael.
Yeah, what is that question?
That is, how do we say no to the person of authority when we are overloaded with work? Similar question.
See, it is not saying no directly. That is what I am saying. You don't say no, but you make the people understand that this person has some other priority work to do, which adds value to them also. So if this work is again given to him, they are going to lose. See, everybody is interested to maximize the benefit. You yourself or your boss. When the boss realizes that by giving additional work, their benefit is not totally, say, realized, then they'll try to withdraw. This is way in which you communicate them. That, sir, I am working on this. This will take this much time. So if that is not a priority, I will take that to the second seat and you take your work on the first seat. This takes this much time. So you advise me what to do first, you can ask them. So then your boss will say, no, no, you do that work only after completing that, you can look at this. This is how you manage your communication with your boss. It is not confronting the boss and saying directly no to them. Am I clear?
Very much clear now. We don't have any other.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. We don't have any other question as of now. Thank you. Thank you only is coming, sir.
Yeah.
So,
But are they connected to, they can they speak now?
no, sir, audio access they don't have because of that noise kind of issues we observed earlier.
But if someone is allowed to speak, it is good.
Uh-huh.
I look forward really to know the direct feedback from the students.
Feedback, yes, that actually that feedback is the real motivator for the speaker. Otherwise, talking to machine is a boring task.
Yeah, really, really.
So, sir, no more questions are coming. It's only thank you and very clear points and all those things are coming. So, with this we can very informative session from Sadiq Ahmed. Lakshman Murmu is telling thank you, sir. Sadiq Ahmed, very clear. Michael is also telling very thank you. So, no more questions, sir. So, we may
Okay.
close
Say,
this session.
yeah, as a conclusion of this session, I try to appeal to all the participants. Take the job very seriously. Changes are happening very fast. So we are in education 4.2. Digitalization is taking away from the conventional system to the new system. And in the new system, we may not have the continuity of the existing system of education in this country or anywhere in the world. We may land up with altogether a new education system. But teacher is not replaced. Institutions may go and say in the place of physical institutions, we may get virtual institutions. Say we may get 3D institutions. So the students anywhere, anytime, any learning can happen. But teacher contribution cannot be nullified. So it is not like what we had our career as teachers for 4 decades or so. We haven't seen drastic shift from one level to another level in our teaching learning process. But this generation of teachers, they have to face unimaginable lines that may happen. So be ready for that changes. Closely watch the technological environment that is taking place. See the top end software companies like Microsoft, Google, IBM, all these companies are now recognized education as a most profitable vertical, business vertical. Not the software services and all that to the industry and all that, the accounting projects and all that. Now education they are identifying is a vertical which gives, see, with the growth in population and sensitization of the need for education in every society, the demand for education is continuously going up and expected to grow further and further. There is no downfall of demand for education. That is one thing that we have to recognize. And when that mega segment is emerging or is there, which is coming on hand to the technology, they are all into this. So they hire teachers, performing teachers, for preparation of the content, for delivery and upgrade, and those who can invent, create new methods of teaching learning process. So be closely watching them, acquire skills, and then try to address the market. Your market is the world. The institution you are serving may not be that much worthy for your time management to and create an enhanced productivity, to create an enhanced reach for yourself, to create enhanced value in terms of money. Also, the future opportunities are very, very high. You should become more dynamic, more skilled, more creative, and more expressive and more visible to the world. Such is the great opportunity before you. Try to exploit it and try to work hard. Thank you very much once again for giving me this wonderful opportunity to interact with all of you.
Thank you, sir, for sparing your time. On behalf of all the participants and on behalf of the HRDC Mizoram University, I would like to say thanks to you for accepting our request at very short notice. Last week only I contacted you, and earlier also we had association, and I hope with this association will continue, and we will keep on requesting you to be a resource person for our future sessions also. Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Pleasure. Nice.